Marsha from awayoflove.com, and I welcome you today to think about this idea of false beliefs. And I'd like to put this in the context of our personality styles. You know, when we start learning more about ourselves, it's very useful to get some of these typologies. A lot of us look at astrology signs or Chinese astrology, what year you're born in. Often there are profiles like social styles, social profiles, or there's the Enneagram or Myers-Briggs. These types of things are actually really useful in terms of learning who you are and some of the parameters of your experience. When you read these things, I never take them for the gospel truth. They're just sort of typologies about ways of being. And why I find them useful is because sometimes there's things in there that you can learn about yourself that's articulated in ways that you may not have actually thought about. Now, if these things resonate with you, well and good. If you see something in one of those that actually doesn't really sit well with you, it's not an idea to take it for the gospel truth. Because if the truth be known, we are so much more than any of these typologies. These are just shorthand, kind of, think of them as if they are like, what do we call these names that aren't our own? They're nicknames. They're nicknames. They're sort of nicknames for ways of being or behavior. And if you see something in any of these that actually doesn't sit well with you, just use it as a way to inform yourself about a different choice you could make. As individuals, we are meaning-creating entities according to the landmark education, and I take this to be a useful thing to think about. If you are creating your meaning and you look at one of these typologies and you say, oh yeah, I'm like that, or that person's like that, we know immediately that we're really constricting that sense, that soul life, that full human being into something far less than what they truly are. We're just getting a mirror, an image, a nickname really for what it is that we're seeing. Now, so putting that in the context of just useful information that we then can be free to make choices about. Does this fit my intention? Is it how I want to show up in the world? Are there other ways of being or choices I could make that would more closely align to who I myself see as my ideal? And sometimes we can't even get a hold of our ideal about who we are or what we choose to be, but sometimes we see it in somebody else. And therefore, we can just simply claim, I am that too. And this will draw us magnetically toward those qualities that we see in others that we appreciate and are actually truer statements about who we ourselves actually are. So, we have these typologies, they give us information. Now I want to focus our attention just briefly about the beliefs that we have. This is a very, very, very important element of how we show up in the world and the strength we have in creating and manifesting and choosing to be what it is that we see in our highest sense of ourselves. If I think I am this or that according to some kind of typology, frankly, I'm holding myself back. These typologies, at the very base of them, are false because they actually do not hold the full essence of who I am or who you are or who anyone or anything is. They are just useful nicknames to characterize aspects that we see, often projected sense of self. It's not that archetypally there aren't truth in these, and that it's not that they can't inform us. It's only if we accept them as a limit of our capability, or as a limit of who I am or who someone else is. So I encourage you today to take a look at the beliefs that you have about yourself or about others. You know, oh, he's that way or she's that way. Well, just stop yourself, because that's absolutely, utterly false. Now, they may have shown up with those characteristics. They may have acted in this way and that way that you could summarize is possibly a way of being. But are you the same person that you were yesterday? Are you the same person that you were 2 months ago, a year ago, 25 years ago? Yes, last week. No. When we get into these relationships, we tend to characterize ourselves and others as being that way. And then we work out of that assumption, rather than the freshness, the aliveness, the mystery, the wonder of who is this person today? Who am I today? And what beliefs might I be holding in myself about myself or about them that could actually limit my full experience of them, and also limit how they have the freedom to be with me. I just want to encourage us to look at how we can be more free together, and how we can allow ourselves the freedom to be fully who we are as spiritual beings having a human experience, which was a beautiful phrase that they used at the University of Santa Monica. And I bring this to you today in a way of love.